Say hello.
Yes.
Make sure you say hello. Hello,
Love it. Love it.
hello. I see Gina.
Hello.
She's here. Hello, girlfriend. Okay. Wow, we have a lot of people on. Oh, there's Laura. I see Laura. Okay, awesome. You
Yes.
guys.
She's on.
Okay. So let me make sure you can hear me, right, Angel?
Yeah.
We're good.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are so excited to have Laura HC with us today. Laura's in the house. She's coming to you. We're going to be talking to you guys. Well, she's going to be pouring a whole bunch of belief into all of you because you guys, listen, we know this is like the fastest moving train I think I've ever been on. It's like, just hold on because the hair is blowing. And so we get it. Some people are like rapidly flying through the ranks. Other people, it's maybe taking a little bit longer. And you know what? That's okay. We're all on our own time, and that is okay. And so we really want to just let you guys know that, listen, there's no like right or wrong way to do this. It is just knowing that you feel energetic about it, you feel excited about it, and that we open our mouths and we talk, right? And so, but Laura, she's here really because she's been with the company for 14 months. Laura's amazing. She is one of the hardest working leaders I have ever met in this industry of my 15 years of network marketing. And she is like, I don't even think she knows what time of day it is. I don't even know if Laura knows what day it is. And so honestly, when we're talking to her, it is just, it's right, Angel. It's unbelievable. But
It's amazing.
it is. And so thank you, Laura, first and foremost, for obviously always pouring into our team. When Jen and Angel and myself and Gina, we were at that first fly-in back in May. And I don't think we really prepared ourselves or really knew what we were getting to. Like, we knew this was going to be big, but I don't think we realized how big it was going to be. And it was just like, we came home, we launched, and it's been like Mach 10 ever since. And we're figuring things out, you guys. Systems are coming. We are building out a boards, everybody. So we're gonna have that for the whole team, and we'll talk about more of that like later as well. Angel, if you want to touch upon Thursday a little bit, but you guys, honestly, just know this: you guys are in the right place at the right time, and it doesn't matter how big you're spelling it or building this or how small you're building this, like, just don't quit. You want to stay here. And Laura's going to talk to you why MWR, why now, the vision, all the things that, why staying on your membership longer, why trying, work so hard to get to Vegas if you guys can't for the pre-launch of North America. I mean, it is going to be so exciting. This is really where vision meets the road when you are in the room with Yoni and Ilian and all the amazing leaders that we have here. And so, Angel, do you just want to touch upon as well what we're going to be doing on Thursday?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Okay, we maxed out, but we opened it up for more. So let your team know to jump back on and try again. So how exciting is this? Like, I'm so fired up. Like Julie said, like we didn't really think that it would be this huge, but we had a vision of it being this huge. And so we're just excited to be here with all of you. And let's give a huge shout out to Miss Jen Perga, who's not with us right now. She's getting on a plane to Portugal for our first US Diamond in the house. So
Yeah.
inspired by her, so grateful for her. She leads with such heart and passion and love for all of us. She pours into every single one of us every single day. And so I'm just so grateful for you, Jen. We miss you and we love you and have a great time in Portugal. All right. So in the chat, let me know, are you coming to Vegas? Put Vegas in the chat if you're coming to Vegas. You do not want to miss this event. This is our pre-launch event. This will never happen again. This is the first event for North America. Like, I'm so excited. If you haven't got your ticket, get there, room with a buddy, whatever you need to do, get your butt there. It's going to be an
Yes.
amazing time. So I'm honored to get to introduce our speaker for today, Miss Laura. Now, mind you, she has been in, I think, 14 months, so a little over a
14
year
months.
longer than us. And for those of you that have seen the school app, our community app that we have for training, that is all by Miss Laura and her team. And I can't even tell you how grateful we are that you've paved the way to just come in and plug and play, right? And share. And that those modules are amazing. So if you've not tuned into the school app and gone through the modules and the trainings, I would highly recommend that because they've already done the work for us. And yes, like Julie said, we're coming out with our team stuff as boards. And on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central, Julie and I are going to host basically a getting started training where it's like, okay, what do I do? I just got started. Tell me what to do. And we're going to help you launch your business, what to say, what to send to people, how to get people in three-way chats, all those things. So definitely want to tune in for that. We'll send the information in our team chat. So stay tuned for that. But it'll be this Thursday at 9 a.m. Central. Yes, we will record it.
And how to go silver.
Yeah.
We're
And
going
then
to be talking a lot about how to go silver, right? Like, right, silver babies. We call them silver babies because you guys, listen, if we could help like dumb this down, keep it really simple and give you those action steps. And I think, I don't want to disregard, I think Brenda and Gina might be doing this with us as well, Angel.
yes,
But
yes.
regardless, we're going to come in and we're going to like really simplify this for you, right? And just create a bunch of silvers all the way across the board because that's where duplication begins. Like if you become, when you become silver, you know what you did, and then you could go rinse and repeat and share it with somebody else, right? And then help your team grow. So that's really what's going to, I know there's a lot of information out there. We kind of want to peel that back and just keep the main thing is what we're trying to do with Thursday's training. Cool.
Right. And that's why I love this call because Laura is going to show us the vision of what she's seen over the last 14 months. And then, like we said, we're going to have a few testimonies come on and share their journey because, like we said, there's some of us moving super fast. There's some of us that have a full-time job and are doing this in small pockets of their day. So we have the honor, again, like I said, to bring on Miss Laura from the UK, but she lives in Spain, which I'm like, can I go visit, please? And you're going to fall in love with her accent because all of us are like, I can listen to you talk all day long. But we're just honored because also too, Laura pours into us when she doesn't even benefit financially off of us, right? But we are all on her team, which we're so grateful to have. And she is the most servant-hearted leader you'll ever meet as well. So thank you, Laura, for coming on and doing our team call for us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, for inviting me onto this call today. I just first of all want to start off to say that I'm truly, truly grateful, for you ladies that have, organized this call today, but each and every one of you on here, because, I know, to reach the levels that kind of I'm getting to now and other people are, we wouldn't be able to do it without each and every one of you. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for everything. And also just what's happening, with the North American launch, which I know is also expanding into Mexico and Australia and UK, and you've got a bit of everything there. So it is really, really exciting. So thank you first and foremost. I do have two of my lovely UK ladies, which have joined me today. So they will be giving you a short testimonial. But I just kind of want to take you back a little bit, to when I first started and kind of cast a little bit of the vision that I had then, what we've created. And gosh, my vision was really small looking back now, to how it's kind of grown so much with what's been happening recently. But I just want to also maybe help you with a little bit of belief and also confidence in, how this company really does deliver and they do what they say. And this is not, people maybe that have just come in recently, they're telling you all of this. And maybe you think, well, how do they know? They haven't been here that long. I kind of want to let you know what I've seen happen over the last 14 months and how, they don't just talk a good talk, they really walk the walk. So, back about 18 months ago now, I completely lost my income. Went back to zero along with Nikki Nash and a few others of us. And it was just Nicola, who you'll meet on the call today as well. And we were just sort of like, we need to go and find the right place. So I could see things that were happening, crumbling behind the scenes. So I kind of took that role to go out there and, find something that we could call home again. And it wasn't easy. There wasn't that much out there. I personally knew I wanted it to be in travel. And I want one thing for you all to know. Travel is something that, once you kind of get your head around the fact that it's a conversation we can have with everybody, every demographic, whether they're young, they're old, from all different cultures, different walks of life. And as a whole, people are already traveling. And if they're not traveling, you ask people what's on their vision board, what's on their goal board. I can guarantee that 99% of those people have something that is to do with travel on there. And, you know, but they don't often believe that they could ever make it possible. It's just kind of a pipe dream for them. So yeah, I wanted it to be in travel. I knew that's something I wanted to elevate my own family's life with, but it also, the company itself, you know, had to be right. So I actually flew over to Milan. So they had a convention in Milan. I remember ringing up Nikki Nash and she said, "We're not doing anything else." I said, "Well, I'm going with or without you. It's up to you. I'll leave you behind." And she said, "Right, I'm coming." And we went over to Milan, and my husband actually joined me then too. And by the way, he was never the biggest fan of the network marketing space. Now he loves it. And he came with me too, and we went and checked it out. And the moment I walked in the door, I just felt a real humbling experience, you know, of everything from the people, you know, that have just got started with their first event, all the way through to the leaders, the $1 million earners, up to corporate. There was a sense of everybody felt very equal. There was no hierarchy. And I like that, you know, when I went into the room. So I asked a lot of questions, and I didn't just ask corporate. I didn't just ask the top leaders, you know, because sometimes I thought, well, maybe they can just tell me what I want to hear. I spoke to new people that have been started. Had they been on trips, you know, were they earning money, you know, how was support and so on. And I got a really good feeling, just went back, went with my gut, and we just ran with it. Now, when I look at you guys coming into this now, you know, you've done incredible, but also you've got so much set up and ready for you that you just need to plug into it. When I started back then, remember, the majority of this company was in French. Like, I don't speak French, okay? I speak English and Spanish, but not French. And all the presentations that were taking place were in French. There were a few in Italian. Apart from a corporate presentation that I didn't personally really want to use at the time, okay? There weren't any presentations in English, and this was only 14, 15 months ago. You know, so I found the best French presentation that I could, and I translated it through some translator thing like ChatGPT. I don't know if it was that or something else. I put it in my own words. We pulled together a PowerPoint and we just went for it, you know, with excitement, and we just got out there and spoke to as many people as we possibly could. You know, we had 1 million Facebook groups, 1 million different chats. It got a little bit crazy. No one knew what we were doing. So that's when we created School. And we put everything in there step by step so the new person could have something very simple to follow. And that's when duplication started to happen, when we made it a non-negotiable to go through the basic classroom 1, 2, and 3, making sure that everybody was set up, they weren't confused. And we started to just focus on Elite Turbo, bringing 3. Before that, we genuinely thought when we came in, everybody's going to want the $20 membership and be customers. I can tell you, hardly nobody did, and it's my worst retention. Okay. We started to focus on the full value of everything we've got. That's when things changed and kept things really simple. Getting people just to focus on Fast Start, getting those 3 people, auto financing their membership, and duplicating that over and over, just 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. That's when we started to get some growth. Now, back then, I see people now, when you get to know me, you'll know I can be quite straight talking, and it might hit nerves sometimes, but it does come from a good place. I see a lot of people, and maybe some of you are those people, so don't take it badly because we've all been there, that focus on what we haven't got instead of focusing on what we have got. And I want you to know that there's been 500,000 members in this company before any of us joined. Something must have been working to create that huge growth in lots of European countries. And I can tell you, if you can make a network marketing company in travel work in France, you can make it work anywhere. Their compliance, their legalities are so crazy strict. This is why no other travel company has been able to work in those markets. And you know what? I love the fact that they have blown up in the hardest place to build a travel business because of legalities. And that shows me that if they can make it happen there, they can make it happen anywhere. You know, we opened up into the UK. That's obviously led us into North America. And before us, it was working. When Ilian started years ago, we were a third-party platform with hotels, and that was it, you know, but it was their culture that grew it, and gradually they've grown more and more and more. So when we started 14 months ago, we had this platform. We did not have the AI, we did not have the trip finder, we did not have the visas, we did not have the SIM cards, we did not have the what they put in recently, how you can check the rooms out on the hotels. Our loyalty points that we could use from day one, you know, where you can use up to a certain amount. So like $50 off a hotel, $20 off of a flight. So, you know, when you go to book something on the platform, that was about half of what we get now. Okay. And we did not have the life experience trip after 12 months. That didn't exist. Okay. But we still managed to build and still managed to grow without all of those added things. And they're just some of what has been added in the last 14 months. So what I've noticed here is whatever the companies say they're going to do, they do. I've never had anything that they've promised and it hasn't happened. Yes, sometimes there might be a little delay. There may be a little tweak on something. But I think what the main message really is, you know, when it came, I've heard people now say, what, we can't take 4 children on life experience and we can't use all our loyalty points to everything from day one. Think about what people have built without all of those things. So I want you just to know that more and more and more is coming to the company. And, you know, we managed to build, you know, without that free trip every year. Now we lead with that because what a great, you know, added advantage to have here on the platform. You know, also we had less life experiences. A lot of them were only focused kind of around the areas where most of the market was. But I've noticed just in the last couple of months, they've added a life experience in Canada. They've added one in Orlando. So you see how they are listening and they're watching where the growth is. And I know, don't know what they are, but I know next Tuesday you need to all be on the CEO call because apparently they're going to be announcing some incredible life experiences and also some other things, which I don't know what they are yet, but meant to be really exciting. So I think it's really important to understand that, you know, if you keep focusing on what there isn't, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. If you keep focusing on what everybody else is doing, you know, you're just holding yourself back. I think what we need to do is embrace what we do have as a whole here and know that it's continuously being improved all the time. And nothing's ever perfect. And you have to be okay with that. No business in the world, find me a business anywhere in the world that is completely perfect. It just isn't. You know, even like our back office, the visualizer, okay? I don't like it yet, but it's getting there. Okay, when we came in, we had these crazy legs that nobody could work out how to place people. Now they've added the visualizer. Yeah, and I'm now, because I got so used to it, I'm like, I like the old way, but it is better what they've done now. But they listened to us. We need to be visualized in the back office, and I know that that is getting made even better. They're adding things constantly. Oh, we didn't have crypto pay. That didn't exist either. You know, but a lot of the field wanted to be able to pay for travel in crypto, you know, and that might not be your thing, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of people's thing, you know. So for all of these added things that we keep getting added all the time is just a blessing to me. Where I used to be previously, and I'm sure some of you have been in companies the same, lots of promises, little things actually, you know, materialize. You know, there's a lot of hype around stuff, but when it comes down to it, all it is hype. Here, they really do just not just talk the talk, but they walk the walk. So I think we just need to trust the process of the company. And what I love about Yoni, he's so customer focused. Yes, he pays us as affiliates well. Yes, he looks after us as affiliates, and he really does. However, everything that he does is to continuously improve the platform, you know, to make the platform the most user-friendly, modern, innovative, you know, that's really delivering to its customers. And you know what I think everybody should do to some capacity, if you can, is use the platform. Even if it is to book like a quick $20 activity that's near you somewhere. You know, maybe it's not something you really want to go on that much, but just kind of book it. You know that you're going to show up. The guide will be there. They will take you away. Book a hotel for one night, just so you have that belief in, okay, the booking went through. I got there. Everything was okay. You know, because the more we start to use the product, the more it allows us to believe in what we've got as well. And just keep it really, really simple. But yeah, so that's kind of where the companies kind of come. And, you know, I don't think I can even, you know, when you always kind of think, can they make it any better? You know, can they make this better? You know, I know there's little things they can improve on. So we had a call the other day, a handful of us, and Yoni was on the call, and he wouldn't tell us all the secrets, but he said in October at our company's boot camp in Istanbul, There are going to be some crazy announcements that we will never believe, you know, the company could even go to that next level. And do you know what I love about here is we're always one step ahead. We're not the copycats that copy other companies. We're one step ahead all the time. Yoni listens, he innovates, he moves forward. So, and I think we're going to see that more and more and more. And anybody that, you know, chooses to go now, I think is crazy, because next year it's going to get even better. They're continuously pouring into this all the time. And one thing I will say as well, we also we have to kind of think, I'm somebody that thinks about the team and the field, but I also care about the company. You know, I see a lot of people that it's all just about the team, and let's nitpick the company, you know, or the other way around. For me, it's really important to back my team, but also be understanding towards the company as well when sometimes the field aren't right. You know, we have to understand what's happened recently. Nobody expected this huge growth to go as quick as it was in North America. And congratulations for what's happening. Nobody realized, you know, the Australian market was going to start to grow how it is. Guys, have you seen the leaderboard? These Koreans, come on, okay? What's going on? They're up some of your tails, you know. That's happened there as well, you know. So with that happening, support are saturated. I'm telling you, and Luisa and Nicola are on here. When I say I could rave about support before, these people, within 3 to 15 minutes, we would have replies. They were quick, they were trained, we were getting replies. Now they are flooded with so many questions on a daily basis. But also, I understand that, and I know that Yoni has addressed that, but we have to give them time. They need to train a whole new power team to be able to sustain what we've got, speaking English, you know, same nationality, so kind of the conversation is the same, Koreans, you know, all the other languages that are coming in. So I think it's really important that we give them a little bit of slack sometimes. But you know what we can do on the field? We can also be a bit more accountable of our own business. And you know what's going to happen when we're more accountable of our own business? That's going to make the support job easier. So rather than asking them questions that you could go and find yourself in school, or you could go and find yourself by looking and just asking them, all you're doing is delaying the important things that need to be messaged. So, you know, being a bit more self-sufficient and looking before we ask is one thing, you know, and also, you know, I think that ranting at customer support is not going to help anybody. It is better to kind of make sure that we're really clear with our email, a good message of what it is we're looking at, to be able to help them and understand now. So I know I've gone off track there, but I want us to make it a nicer experience for everybody, you know, and the more that we become self-accountable with everything ourselves is going to make everything flow so much faster overall. So yeah, the company's amazing. And I'm just so excited. I had a goal, okay? And I thought my goal was crazy. 14 months ago, I said to myself, I'm going to have 5 frontline Jades or above. Yeah, that was my goal. And I thought that would be such a great thing to be able to do. And I cannot believe that now within my organization, I have, I think, over 25 Jades, pearls, sapphires, diamonds now. Congratulations, Jen. It is like crazy, you know, we're pumping all of these ranks up, which is amazing. But you know what else I want to say? A huge congratulations to these people. You deserve every single penny, every single bit of recognition. You really do. But I also want to, you know, say that this isn't normal. This is not normal. And when I came in, I hit Jade quite quickly in 6 weeks. Okay. I hit it quickly in 6 weeks. And that's from having some experience. And I just talked to everybody. Okay. And I've got huge work ethic. But then I actually got to a point where it took me a while to get to Pearl, because I was really struggling a bit to duplicate. Okay. And finding other people with that work ethic or connections, you know, and then I kind of hit Pearl and it started to snowball a bit. And then thank you so much. You guys came in and helped me get to Emerald, you know, and now I've got one leg that's crazy and the other one I'm working hard on now, you know, but it will start to snowball. But people look at Nikki Nash, you know, Nikki took her 6 months to get to Jade. Yeah, 6 months to get to Jade. And then boom, boom, she literally, you know, went to the next rank, and I know her business is going to explode. And when I came in, the French team got me on a call when I first joined after 6 weeks, blown away at how quickly I'd got to Jade, and asked me to do a call to the whole of the French organization, talking about how I'd managed to get to Jade into 6 weeks. Now, that then was big in the company. You know, what you guys are doing now is not normal. And then the fact that we got another Jade and we went to the convention over in Toulouse, and it was my team going up of like me as Jade, somebody else as titanium, and then 3 or 4 more titaniums and about 20 silvers. And they were like, wow, after 3 months. Like that was wow then. That looks like baby work now from what's happening here. But that's the reality of what really happens. Okay, and I really want the masses here to understand that as much as it's incredible, these people that are hitting huge ranks, I also want you to not compare your chapter 1 with their chapter 20. Many of these leaders that are hitting these ranks have, you know, been in the industry 15, 20, 25 years. Over that time, they started from zero. And I can guarantee that a lot of them spent months and months and months at the beginning, not even hitting those first ranks in their former businesses. They grew skills, they grew confidence, they grew networks. You know, you don't just suddenly bring in 10 superstars from other companies without building relationships and credibility over years. You know, and they deserve that because they did the work 10, 15, 20 years before you. So now they're getting paid for all the work that they did back then. And I think it's really important to remember that. You know, it's like now I truly believe that this is my breakthrough year, but my breakthrough year for the work that I have done for the last 8 years in the space, that I always kind of got to a point that I couldn't get that bit further. But you know what? The universe or whatever it is you believe in, it was telling me that I wasn't ready for it yet. I was not ready to handle this amount of growth before. I had to grow as a leader. I had to grow my skills. You know, imagine you guys coming in at the speed that you've come in. If I had just been new to the industry in a couple of years and I couldn't host opportunity calls to the standard that I host them, I couldn't, you know, jump on 3-way calls and know how to close people, it would have fallen to pieces. You know, I really believe that God, the universe, it brings us something when we're truly ready for it. And some of you have got a lot of growing to do, and that's okay. This is part of your journey. So you really need to, you know, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, and understand that you're still growing those skills to be able to handle that success when it's going to come. I think it's so important. I said to one of my team the other day, he's like, I just want the kind of team you've got. I said, I asked you to host opportunity calls and you won't even do them. You know, I asked you to go live with me, you won't do it. I've asked you to help me put a document together. You're like, you haven't got time. I said, so how are you going to have time to help thousands of people that want you day and night? Yeah, but you know what? One day he will be ready. He will be ready when he goes through all the resilience and the ups and downs that you need to go. Imagine having to deal with all the different personalities and emotions that come with things, you know? It's exciting, but it's tough. Yeah, it's tough as well. These kind of incomes don't come easy. It looks pretty on social media, but I promise you behind the scenes, it's a roller coaster, but it's worth it. It's worth it. So I just think everybody needs to kind of go at where they are. And I want you to understand that your time will come to shine. But the biggest thing I can say to you all is please keep your blinkers on. You know, like a racehorse, okay, that is going out there to race. You know, a racehorse isn't looking what that person on the right or that person on the left is doing. They're not. You know, the racehorse has been trained, you know, probably the same as the other horses have been trained. You know, he's had good trainers. They know what they got to do. Okay. They just know now they need to keep their blinkers on and they need to focus on their own goal. You know, where are they going? What are they going for? Because it doesn't matter what somebody on the right and left is doing. And that's exactly the same as us. Show up to calls and learn the skills through people that are further ahead of you. Go through the onboarding and the training, you know, and take on board what is being taught by those people further ahead of you. But after that, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter who they're bringing in. Like, it's none of your business, actually, who anybody else is signing up. See a lot of that. It's absolutely got nothing to do with you, where somebody's coming in, where somebody's being placed, how much spillover you've got, you know, what other ranks people are doing, how much income somebody's earning. You know, that doesn't matter. What matters is you and your next person that you're bringing in. And are you going to be there to support them and show them the way? That's all that matters. So really keep your blinkers on. And you know what? Whenever somebody ranks up, I never, ever, and I never have thought, why them, not me? I've always thought if they can do it, so can I. But how can I get better? Yeah. So don't blame your downline, don't blame your upline, and definitely don't blame your sidelines. They've got nothing to do with your success. I think the only people we need to look at is us, and understand that we're all on our own journey. And it literally is get that next person, on board them the right way. Get that next person, on board them the right way. And just literally focus on that. And it doesn't matter. And that's if your energy is so focused in the wrong places, like you're wasting it completely. I am like out of drama. I'm not interested. Don't bring it to my door kind of thing. I'll be there to resolve things if they're important. But apart from that, I just want to focus on those people that are, focused. And that's what we all need to be. So you know what I did when I first started, and I don't know if any of you saw my company call that I did a few weeks ago, maybe about 2 months ago now. When I came in, I looked at the Jewel team residuals and I saw diamond and I pointed at it, $750 a day. I thought that is great. That will give me choices. That's amazing. But then I put it in a box. I just put it away in a box. And I thought that's my end goal. And you know what? If people in my team reach it before me, I'm going to be happy for them, really happy for them, because that's great. That's building my business as well. But all I'm going to do now is start at zero and focus on that one person at a time. One person at a time, and support them and lead by example. And that's what I want all of you to do. We just need to focus on getting that next person, because that next person could be your diamond. You don't know. You really, really don't know. And, I will continue after I've spoken. I just want to bring two people up here, because we hear so much. And I think as a team, we should make a conscious effort of this actually. We hear so many of us, we are shouting out all of these big ranks. And I love that. And everybody deserves that. And none of them would be there without every other single person that's here. We know it's a team effort and all of us are grateful for each and every person. But for me, I think there needs to be a lot more celebration on people that hit that first person that they bring in. There needs to be more celebration on people that are hitting that silver rank. They're the people we need to be shouting out. And then those people that then hit silver and help those 3 people get to silver. That to me is what needs to be celebrated in duplication, because that's what gets everybody else to the bigger ranks and will then eventually get you there too. So let's start celebrating and make sure we're making a big deal of it. And do you know what? I had somebody join me and they have asked me not to shout them out until they're titanium. And I don't want that to happen. I'm like, why? Because you've built big previously? Why? That's not relatable. Some of you might be sat here and thinking, nobody's joining me because I've got 0 members. Nobody's joining me because I've only just hit silver. It makes no difference. Rank and income, people don't even know what it means on social media as a whole. And I said to that person, why? Why be embarrassed because you built big before? Tell people I've just got my first person. I've just hit that first rank. People want to see that, and they want to go with people that are willing to show that and start again from the trenches. I shouted out my first person, my next person, my first $50, my first $300. And I think it's really important that we showcase our own real journey, and also the good, the bad, and everything, not just when we've had these crazy, crazy wins all the time. So I want to bring somebody on, first of all, that now that we're kind of talking about, building your business and how long it takes. Nicola Powell is a really, really great friend of mine. We previously worked only for about a year in a business before this, and we really got to know each other and how we worked. And she's a beautiful soul. She really is. She's one of those people, and I can say it, I would probably say number 1 of never moaning at me. Yeah, literally. She is somebody that is just a light to everybody around her. I've never heard her say one bad thing about anybody, ever. Even if I know they're wrong by messages, like she's like, is this right, Laura? She will always look at the good thing in people, and find an excuse to make it like they must have just been having a bad day. She's a beautiful soul inside and out. Nicola is a mom of 4. Well, she has 2 of her own children and 2 of her partners. She plays mom to 4. She also is a full-time hairstylist, crazy hours, and has been for over 20 odd years. She has a terrible bad back because of it. and is desperate to get out of that work. We'd worked together previously for about a year. Nick was one of the first people that I called and said, Nick, come and get in my living room now. She's like, what? I said, just drive here. Come and see me. And she came. There were 7 of us in my living room when I told them about this. And she was all in from day one. But Nick's story hasn't been, that quick and that fast, even though she's had some experience in this space before. So Nick, I don't know if you want to share your story about how long it took you to get to silver, gold, and now that you're at titanium, congratulations, and very close to jade. How long it took you to actually get there, but also, sorry, this is Dave trying to call me, how long it took you to get there. But not only that, I know the product itself has changed a lot for your family. And yeah, anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so honoured to be talking to you all, and thank you. I'm going to try really hard not to speak too quickly, all right? Because I'm a Dorset girl from the UK, and we do speak quite quickly. So yeah, I started with Laura in her front room, and obviously Nick and Laura together. Nick I actually went to school with, and I absolutely adore them. And in fact, they're my best friends. And that's what I think out of all of this is my favourite thing. I actually get to work with my best friends every single day. So I hit silver really quickly. Yes, I had 5 years previous experience where I was actually in a product-based background. And when Laura and Nikki said to me travel, I was like, do you know what, guys? I haven't traveled for 7 years. All right, a really long time. I don't understand how I'm going to do this. I don't understand how this is going to work, but do you know what? I'm going, and I'm going with it anyway. And I literally ran with it. So I hit silver really quickly. But do you know what? It actually took me 6 months to hit gold. And I was so frustrated, but do you know what I did? I doubled up the work. So I literally was like, right, I'm frustrated. This is not going to help anyone. And all I'm going to do now is double up the work. I'm going to plug in. I looked in at school, and I just started reaching out. And then all of a sudden we hit gold, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I'm all about, this isn't necessarily about me either. I'm all about helping other people. So if I can help them hit silver and be able to now get that free stage 2, like an auto finance in their account, that for me is a big win-win. So a lot of people that I work with might be struggling financially. So that was one of the reasons. But then what happened is I went to Alicante, and just before Alicante, I hit platinum. And I can't even explain it. It was like a snowball effect, because all of a sudden you're just helping these people, and then you're helping more people. And then I was just like, I can't believe it. So I hit platinum. And then within a couple of weeks of being in Alicante with Jen, and I was there with Heather as well, we were dancing to Free From Desire and living our best lives at that time. I was really loving it. And it was so lovely to meet the pair of them as well, because I'm so honoured to be seeing their journey. But for me, that was the moment for me. I was like, I found my home. This is not necessarily just about the money, or yes, okay, now I can travel, because guys, I actually went to Alicante, my first trip in 7 years. Okay, I got on a plane and I went to Alicante, and I was up there, and one of the evenings actually there was a saxophonist up on the rooftop, and it was just an amazing night. And I think for me, it's something I'm always going to remember, because that is like the first part of my journey really to the next bit where we hit titanium. So what I'm going to say to you is, like, for me, I knew that I was going to have to build this slowly. Okay, so when I say that, I've got 4 children at home. I even have a bulldog, Billy, and a partner that works nights. And actually, at the time that this first started, Laura won't mind me saying this, he actually lost his job. Okay, so I was working in a hair salon 6-7 days a week, and he wasn't working, and yeah, it just wasn't easy. Okay, but imagine being at silver, plugging away for nearly 6 months with all of that going on, but just sticking with it and knowing that I'm going to be titanium and very, very close to jade, and the car bonus as well. Okay, it's taken me 14 months to get that point, but what's the alternative? I carry on breaking my back in the hair salon. I carry on with the kids, as they all drive us nuts. Of course, we love them, but what's the alternative, So I was like, I'm just going all in. And I love the fact I get to work with these incredible people. I love the company. I love the fact that I can go on holiday now. I'm going to be with you guys. Whoever's coming to Istanbul, trust me, those events change your life. I saw a car come up from the stage. I saw a Rolex come down from the roof. I saw money everywhere. There was like sparkling fireworks everywhere. And I get to be on a rooftop with these ladies drinking cocktails and watching the saxophonist, you know, watching it in Benidorm. And we're all going to be doing this in Istanbul. So if you've not got your ticket yet, I highly recommend trying to go. And yeah, I had to get childcare for my children. I had to find the money from somewhere to pay for certain things, but trust me, that changed my business hugely because my team saw me there, they were there with me, and yeah, we just had the best time. So I will say comparison is the thief of joy. We've got to do the work anyway. We've got to do the journey anyway. And I will say the one thing about me is I am consistent every day. I don't care about how I'm feeling. I will send 50 messages, like Nikki Nash, you will always say, I always send 50 messages a day. And I know that I'm just planting the seed. I remember one day I was having 100, I had 100 no's in one day. All right. But they're not no's. They are literally just yet, not yet. So I hope that helps. And if there's something I've missed, Laura, let me know. But thank you so much for having me. And I'll pass you back over to Laura.
I think that was great, Nick. And it's just lovely to see your story, you know, and really congratulations for now being able to drop 2 days at work, which is allows you to now spend more time in this. Can you imagine though that Nick had given up after 6 months of just sat on silver for 6 months? She's almost about to touch Jade, you know, a good full-time income, and it will just snowball from there because she's starting to get duplication in her team. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I'd also like to bring on, I must have spoke too much at the beginning. I've just realized I'm hosting an opportunity call in 15 minutes, but we're good. So Louisa, I really wanted to bring Louisa on. Louisa, again, actually, she's not direct to me. She came in through the lovely Laura Husson, who you know I do a lot of the opportunity calls with, and she's direct to Laura Husson. And she's just a beautiful soul. But Louisa, you know, she's been here, gosh, is it about 12 months now, Louisa? Something like that. You've been here now about a year, a bit more?
It was a year in June, so just over a year.
Here in June. And for Louisa, you know, she didn't have any experience in this space. And I just want to say congratulations. She not long ago hit silver, and she's also now got her first silver in her team. But for Louisa, it wasn't just about those big incomes. It's been so much more than that, a dream come true trip. But now, and it took the time to get here because she was working on herself and her confidence and everything else, you know, and now we can see really things are starting to happen for her on the financial side. But Louisa, it'd be lovely to share your story. And I think maybe touch on how the value here is not always so much just the income, like how it's really changed your lifestyle in so many ways as well would be nice.
Oh, completely. I mean, a little bit of backstory. When I was 10 years old, I came across Hawaii somehow, and I thought to myself, I have to go to that place. I have to go to that place. And when I was 44, I made a promise to myself that I would celebrate my 50th birthday in Hawaii if it was the last thing I did. And so luckily for me, Laura Husson introduced me to Travel Advantage. And I thought to myself, okay, we are either going to go big or go home. And I decided that this was going to be my moment and that I was going to celebrate my 50th birthday in the 50th state. And so I was able to take my parents and my 4 children to Oahu and the Big Island. I booked everything through Travel Advantage, the hotels, the activities, the hire car, the transfers, like everything. It was fantastic to have it all in one place, which made it so convenient. But on top of everything else, the really big deal with this was the fact that I saved $5,000 on this trip. And I got $600 back in travel credits. And I'm going to be using some of those on Sunday because my eldest daughter and I are going to be traveling to Vegas. We're going to be going to Vegas, and thanks to Travel Advantage, it's actually a free stay. And the activities that I've booked, I actually get for $0 because of the travel credits that I got on the Hawaii trip. So Travel Advantage just on its own, without anything else has been an absolute godsend to me. In every journal I've ever written in every diary, I've always said, my dream is to be able to take myself and my family to amazing places to do amazing things. There is no way I would have been able to give my family the kind of experience that I gave them, which was wild, by the way, without this platform. And, you know, again, it's not even just about that. It's everything else that I've got from this. You know, I spent a really long time being quite isolated, didn't have many friends, basically just had my family. And now I really feel like I'm part of a travel family. I'm part of a community of people who do actually care what happens to me. You know, this isn't just about business. This is so much more than that. And I was lucky enough to meet Ilian and Nuno back in March in Birmingham, and they were so personable and so wonderful and just so happy to help and give their tips. And you know, they weren't, well, we're the big guns and we're the big guys and we don't want to talk to you because you're not even silver yet, which I wasn't at the time. They were just really open to talking and sharing their wisdom, and it was just really fantastic to be amongst people who were high flyers, but who were still really down to earth and really humble, and basically saying to me and to everyone else, you know what, we're no different to you. You know, we've done this, but so can you. And you just need to believe in yourself and listen to the people around you. You know, take nuggets of advice and information from Laura and from Nicola, from Nikki Nash, and you know, all those wonderful people, and just roll with it. And yes, it took me a year to get to silver, but actually, you know, I would never have left anyway. You can't get rid of me now. So there you go. That is my story.
Oh, thank you so much, Louisa. And it's just wonderful, you know, to hear how much value you've got from the platform, but also the friendships, the confidence you've built, the skills that you've done. You know, I know we're going to have you as one of our presenters soon because you're amazing at that, you know, and all these different things and value that it's brought. And now you've got to a point where you're enjoying coaching others and helping them now get to silver. And Kitty's actually your daughter-in-law, isn't she, that's hit silver, which is amazing. And, you know, it's just going to go on from there. And I think these are the stories that I want to hear and we should celebrate as well. It's not just about people hitting six figures and multiple six figures and beyond. That's amazing. And that will come in time for those that deserve it. You know, at the end of the day, it will come for those that stand the test of time, they grow the skills, and they genuinely want to go out there and help people. You know, one thing I want to say, if you are leading from a place of desperation and a place of only thinking about you, then that's maybe a little bit of the thing. When you lead from a place of how can what I have help others, how can what I do help, you know, and pour into others, and not think about your next rank, but how you're going to help that next person, I promise you something will switch. Like it massively switches. I speak to people that tell me when they're stuck, and I'm like, all you've done is tell me about poor you. It's not fair on you. I need this. I need that. I said that vocabulary doesn't come into my mouth. I think about, you know, who can I help next? How can this genuinely bring value to that person? When you change your mindset to wanting to serve rather than just take, things will happen so much differently for you. They really, really will. And that's not easy for everyone because we're all in different circumstances sometimes, but really think about serving rather than taking. I promise you it pays you back a millionfold. It really, really does. So I'm going to pass it back over. I do have a call in 7 minutes. You can continue, close it all up. I think the girls have said more than enough, haven't they? I think it's been amazing to hear from them. I will stay on until I need to go off for my call, but if I jump off before you finished, thank you for having me on here today. And we're rooting for all of you. We're your biggest cheerleaders. Guys, get to Vegas. It changed so many people's lives. Get to Vegas, get to Istanbul, wherever you can be, get in a room because you need that belief. You know, you really need that belief. So I'll pass it back over to you. Thank you for having us.
Laura, you're amazing. Thank you so, so much. Like there was so many golden nuggets. You guys, I'll get the replay from Laura because I know everyone will be asking me for the replay, and we'll make sure to post that in our ambassador group. But Laura, seriously, from the bottom, I could speak for all of us here. Thank you so much. And thank you to your guests that you had on. I mean, it's important to understand that everyone is on their own journey. And I know I definitely don't have it all figured out. I am learning. I'm like, this is the hardest I've ever had to work because I'm rebuilding from ground zero with no team after my last company shut down, where I thought I was done, you guys. Like, I thought network marketing was like, I'm done. But what I realized was that I actually love it because I felt alone for so long, even though I was in network marketing, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with where I was at. I wasn't happy with what I was promoting. And you know what? At the end of the day, if you're not aligned, you're not pulling in the right energy. You're not going to be pulling in the right people. And so I feel like this has just given me like a rebirth in a way. And I am learning as I go. I know we're all here learning as we go, but we're so fortunate to have people like you and Nuno and Ilian and Nikki to just guide us. And thank you for all the wonderful systems that you've created for us. And we continue to just keep improving upon it. And like you said, we're just going. We're just moving forward. We're not quitting. No one here is quitting, right? Everyone's saying thank you in the comments. So we're very blessed to have you. And yes, Jen, congratulations, sister. We love you. We are now one of the fastest growing teams to Diamond and the first to hit it in the US. And this really was, and I know Jen will say it, this was an absolute team effort, you guys. And so she is on a plane to Portugal. Unfortunately, I couldn't go this year, but I'll be with Laura next year. We'll be at the trip together. So I'm super excited. And yes, I hope to see all of your faces in Vegas. Really, really try and get to that because that's where it builds belief. That's the foundation, you guys. And coming to our first pre-launch event it's going to be amazing. So once again, we'll cut it there, but thank you again, Laura. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday for another team training and talking more about silver, onboarding, launching, all the things, and really simplifying that process. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Never give up.
No, never. Bye.